The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
It's all good.
It'll be a little stiffer at the beginning, and then kind of soften up around the edges. Like this one, this podcast today, it already started. So, you know,
Oh, nice.
like that kind of slow, smooth flow into the podcast from conversation. That's what I like. Welcome to Tuesday Newsday, everybody. This is the Natural Habitat Podcast, and news has happened. That's right. All week, news has been happening. News headlines have been being typed and printed. Stories have been escalating and declining, climaxing in the middle. Also, there has been a couple rapes. Some people died. And also, that's about it. That's all. Because this week has been slow. It's been a very slow news week, to tell you the truth. We linked up today, and we were trying to talk about what we were going to do on our Tuesday Newsday, and it turns out that the news has been pretty dead. It was exciting for a while with all kinds of explosions and all kinds of allegations of things, and now it's just a little slow. So we're gonna do our best to cover things that happened that we think are interesting. So if you watch the news and you didn't hear any of these things, that's because your newsman is a dick, and he is not real, and he's being told to say things through an earpiece. So don't listen to him.
Yeah, no agendas over here unless it's a marijuana agenda, and then for sure we're pushing it.
Yeah, I have a hidden agenda in my cell phone pocket on my Dickies, and a little plastic container that says for medicinal use only. That's the only hidden agenda I have, and I only hide it around police and around people that don't have weed. That's the worst.
So what's the first big story?
I'm gonna tell you
in the last week.
I'm gonna tell you what the biggest story in the last week is, and that is that Funk Volume has made themselves look ridiculous. To me, I think that's one of the most interesting stories that I've seen.
No way. Are you serious? Rappers embarrass themselves? No fucking way.
I know, it's weird. It's the weirdest thing, and it's when it does happen. You have to take some time and enjoy it, because usually rappers are very composed. People take them very seriously. And they're also really presentable. They're like man's men, like you want to be like them because they're just so have great etiquette, very polite, wonderful grammar, as well as they love everyone equally, women and children and men alike. So every once in a while, a rap label will do something ridiculous, and Funk Volume did that, and they decided to put out $500,000 for a rap battle. Initially, it was against Shady Records, and Shady Records, I believe, had nothing to say about it, and didn't even,
because it's not a competition.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just a giant ploy for Funk Volume to be seen by all the Shady Records fans. And
Funk Volume is doing things, but they're not doing the things that they want to be doing, and that's where all this comes from. It's like they wanna hit up a top tier label and try to get that recognition off of causing whatever type of headlines, and they think that that's gonna help them get to that next level shit. But honestly, they're not worthy. They got on there and wanted to post about somebody else being not worthy, but in all reality, they're the ones that are not worthy. You guys are just a small independent label. I know a lot of other independent labels that are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And they don't even get that reckless. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to have something to bring to the table. Eminem could legitimately dismantle every single one of them at the same time by himself, and let alone the other people. Like Eminem's only always had good rappers on his label.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't see enough good rappers on Funk Volume to make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're all good. They're all good in their own individual ways. They all have their own little styles and shit, but none of them are good enough to be on the same level as them. You know what I mean? Like, Eminem is the greatest to ever do it, period.
Yeah, and they were talking on Shade 45, and that's where this initially came out. Like Hobson, and I want to say a lot of Funk Volume was there on the show that day, and Hobson said that they'd put up $500,000 to whoever, whatever label wants to take it, and like take the challenge, and I guess take the money, and someone called in and said that King Crooked from Horseshoe Gang would be dope, and Jaron Benton said he gave him props and was like, yeah, King Crooked's dope. And then Hobson was like, can't nobody fuck with us. We'll beat anybody. Funk Volume's better than anyone. And he was just like, had no respect for it, was hella cocky. And then Horseshoe Gang, I guess, isn't taking the bet, but released the song anyway. And put out a song in just like a couple days that was a Funk Volume diss called Half a Meal, and I listened to it this morning, and I mean, they killed him. They killed it. It's a lot better than anything that I've heard from Funk Volume recently, because the main thing is that Hobson, like, he flips back and forth between being religious and being anti-religious, and then he'll be like, oh, that was all a ploy, like I was just pretending to be religious because, like, this, to get people to pay attention to me so that I could flip the script. And then he fucking is like, I'm quitting rap and I'm moving to Australia. And then he's like, psych, I'm not quitting rap. My new album's coming out. And then nobody cared. Like, he announced that he was quitting, and then he announced that it was fake, and he announced his new album. And a week later, Tech was on Shade 45 with Sway in the morning, and he said that Hobson was going to be on his album. And Sway was all like, you got Hobson? He retired. How'd you do that? And it's like, apparently Sway didn't hear the news that it was fake. You know what I mean? He had a whole week to hear about it, and it never got to him. So, and he's like, you know, like kind of paying attention to this shit. So imagine, I'm gonna
tell you why.
All these other people that never heard.
Yeah, nobody heard because nobody hears about them. That's the problem. They're not a big enough label to even be heard about. They are. Look, they're bigger than we are. They're bigger than, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're doing things. They're established in the game. They're doing world tours and shit.
Yeah, we're not trying to discredit anything that Funk Volume's done. They are.
Yeah, they just don't have that fucking mainstream money that it takes to run that fucking ad world. You know what I mean? Like you can't fuck with Shady because it's like fucking with Interscope. You know what I mean? Like, they have something huge behind them. They have this driving force that creates industry and destroys all that it comes in front of. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's no way to compete with that. To honestly even try to be on that same platform is fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? You just can't compete with it. But what they can compete with is all the other independent labels out there. If you're an independent label and you're on the come up and your artists are good enough on the roster and you think that you could fucking take that challenge, put up that $500K and go do that. Yep. This is something that the fans want to see. You know what I mean? Like, this really could be something that somebody could profit off of, and basically the fans are going to be the ones to reap the benefits, because this is something that hasn't been done a lot in the rap world yet. No, not a lot of labels challenge labels like that and actually put money on the line. They could turn this into a real label versus label battle, and we could see some stars be made overnight. Yeah, you know what I mean? This could do something if they do it right.
Whoever accepts that challenge, no matter who you are, no matter what your music sounds like, I would suggest that your music be good. But even if it's bad, you accept that challenge and you put up that $500,000, then you're going to be seen worldwide. You're going to be the the label that stepped up to Funk Volume and called them on their bullshit and was like, all right, I'll take that battle. You might not have heard of us because we're only like big in our area, but you know, here we are. You're gonna be on fucking every show. You're gonna be interviewed all over the place. You're gonna be on every fucking cover of fucking XL magazine and all that shit. So, you know, it's a good move if you got the money, and I don't. Otherwise, I would do it. I feel like I could. I feel like no, I probably. There's not enough people on my roster. It's just me and Chris. I don't know if we could do it ourselves. But
right. I tell you, there's not too many labels out there that are like on the same level as them. But I tell you what, who I'd like to see do it would be Top Dog Int, and that's fucking Kendrick Lamar's label and all the people on that label. I think they fuck with Funk Volume. I think that they all get along and they're homies and shit or whatever, but I still think that they should battle them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't make it like, oh, fuck you type of shit. Just make it like about the raps for real and let's see it. You know what I mean? It's like
it doesn't have to be about who can make the best song dissing somebody. It could just be the best song in general or the best, you know, whatever it is. And I think that would be a great matchup because Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite mainstream rappers right now. I was just listening to Pimp a Butterfly, his new album that he dropped, and that was really good. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. You know what I mean? And
so that would be like perfect, honestly.
And he fucking schooled it on Dre's new album.
Yeah, imagine.
You don't know.
Imagine that they fucking set up a place. They get a venue, like a stadium or something. They find some cool place, and they set it up to where it's TDE versus Funk Volume, and no pre-writtens, no nothing. You just have to show up and freestyle battle. You know what I'm saying?
That's not gonna happen. Nobody does that anymore.
Take it all the way back. I know, but that's the problem. You know what I mean? Most rappers are not real rappers. They can't freestyle. They can't, you know what I'm saying? If you can't freestyle and you have to look at your phone or you have to spit some old written shit, to me, you're not a real rapper. You know what I mean? If you can't freestyle, you're garbage, son.
Yeah, like, obviously your freestyle's not going to be as good as your written, but it never is.
Right.
But it's like just to have the balls and like just to be able to find your spot and just carry it all on a whim, you know what I mean? That's definitely a skill that is lost in hip hop because back in the day, people used to freestyle all the time. And then when it was Blaze battles and shit, like in the 90s and early 2000s, all that was all freestyling, all of it.
Yeah, and freestyling is what makes you a rapper. If you can't freestyle, you can't rap. Just because you rap lyrics written somewhere doesn't make you a rapper.
Yeah.
Just because you have a good cadence or a crazy voice or whatever, and you know what I mean, that doesn't make you a rapper. Being a studio rapper doesn't mean shit. Being a fucking spitting acapellas to a fucking audience that doesn't know the difference don't make you shit. You know what I mean? If you can't freestyle, you ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't never gonna be shit. Not in a rapper's eyes. You might fool some of these fucking fair weather fans, but to all the real rap cats, all the real fans in the community, people know the difference, man. That shit's embarrassing. Everybody that you see go on Sway is always reading from their fucking phone. That shouldn't even be allowed.
Yeah.
Sway should slap that fucking phone out of their hand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you always hear people go
man.
on there, and then if you listen to their albums, you hear the same verse in their album. And
yeah,
I used to watch the Freestyle 101s on YouTube. I don't know if you ever watched those. It was like a G4 thing.
Yeah.
And they did them with everybody, and you could tell some people would actually freestyle, and you know they would mess up sometimes, or kind of like rhyme the same word, or you could see them like actively thinking about what they're gonna say, and kind of like fumbling words out. And then some people would just rap shit from their album.
I don't believe that any one of those freestyles on Sway in the Morning is an actual freestyle.
Me neither.
Not a single one of them is. None of those rappers are genuine enough to go on there and really freestyle, man. A couple of them, maybe. Like, Logic's look like his might have been a freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, a few of them will fuck up on purpose. or like put two writtens together and make one freestyle
Yeah.
or something. So you could tell like maybe a few spots are freestyle, but you know the difference, man. If you rap, you know the difference between when somebody's written some spitting shit or when somebody's fucking, you know what I'm saying?
just like some fucking coin authenticator can look at a coin and not even have to fucking, touch it and be like, yeah, that's fake. That's not real. But anybody else is just like, yeah, that's a penny. Who gives a fuck? So I think, people that aren't in the art, people that haven't spent time writing music and freestyling and putting things together, know that there's certain things that you just can't do on a whim. There's certain like structures and beat structures that you can't do just off the top of your head and carry it for that long. Like even the best freestylers in the history of freestyling never did anything that was like flipping it up, ridiculous up, and like had it all like fucking like every syllable matches. You know what I mean? Like
but all
that's
Eminem
prearranged.
From back
you know
in the
what
day
I mean?
Were real freestyle stuff.
They were.
You know how you never heard you might have heard like a couple of writtens that Eminem spit, but for the most part, his shit was always freestyle. You know what I mean? Rappers were different.
But it also was it was also had that sloppiness that you could tell, you could pick it out, and you could tell that it was just coming as he was rapping, it was coming up instead of. There was things that didn't really fit right, and he had to stretch out instead of it being perfect. You could kind of tell that things are prearranged. You know what I mean? And it's a sad life. I know that. Did you hear about Eminem and he's catching a bunch of heat for one of his lines in his new album, where he said, "I even make the bitches I rape come." And apparently, it's a lot of people just found out what he said because he said it really fast and. Now they're mad about it.
Yeah, well, he does that shit on purpose, so that shouldn't surprise you, and it shouldn't surprise anybody.
Yeah.
Everything he does is on purpose. He's the king of controversy, you know what I mean? And people are still talking about him. That's why he's still relevant. He's always going to be relevant. He's always going to be the smartest. He's always going to be the best. And there's nothing anybody can fucking do about it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I just saw this interview the other day with 50 Cent, and even 50 Cent said it. He's like, at saying it as a black man, doing black music, saying that nobody is better at it than Eminem, you know what I'm saying, hurt his feelings in a way, and it's like, but he's going to keep 100. He loves it at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy to see, but it's the truth, man. It doesn't, what color of your skin or where you come from or any of that shit, none of that matters anymore. You know what I'm saying? Being street or not being street, none of that shit matters, dude. The only thing that matters is how much you put into the fucking craft, dude. If you go harder than everybody, that shit will show, and you'll fucking be harder than everybody. You know what I mean? And that's got to give everybody in the game hope, because the game has to change. You know what I mean? The game's always going to change, just like life is always going to change. Change is the only constant in anything. And if you can't fucking change with the game, then you go extinct, period. You know what I mean? And he's one of the dudes that is never going to stop. He's just going to keep going, keep fucking changing. You know what I mean? He's going to do it until he's like 60 years old. And and honestly, 60-year-old Eminem is probably still going to be better than whatever 20-year-old's doing it, because they're not doing it right. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be original and do it on your own and do it for real and put everything that you love in your life into it. And you know what I'm saying? And that really shows. Eminem lives and breathes, and everything he does is rap. You know, he's put so much into it that there's no way for anybody to catch up. You know what I mean? All we can do is just fucking hope that we could ever have like a tenth of what he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely doing it right, and the king of controversy, and he's still pissing people off with his new album. Yeah. So I liked it. I thought that the Marshall Mathers 2 was dope. His Shady 5 or Shady 7 or whatever it is was just a gimmick of repackaged songs. So I just believe that didn't happen. I'll just say that it was like a dream. I dreamt it, and I was like, oh, that's old stuff. So
it's just a Interscope thing. It's just a moneymaker. That's all.
Yep, you got to do what you got to do. So we talked about this last week, I think, and there's been an update on it with Jared Fogle from Subway. He pled guilty to his child pornography charges, and they found a giant file on his computer that was it was 300 or 300 something gigabytes, which is really, really big. That's computer term for very, very large, bigger than any file I have on my computer. And Subway has like cut ties with Jared and is no longer working with him, but Subway sales are at a record low, and they opened 700 new stores, but their sales are down like 30%, and nobody wants to go to rapey ass Subway anymore. And it also turns out that Jared's foundation that he had for his fat kids to help childhood obesity, he had $2 million to donate to schools and community organizations, and only 7,300 of it was given away to help, and the rest of it was I guess taken or used and squandered, and he used it to buy cameras to make child porn. It's a sad story, man. It's sad.
Yeah.
So he's going away for a long time, and I know that Vice did a piece recently where they went and talked to a bunch of prisoners and talked to a bunch of life prisoners and asked them what they think is going to happen to Jared when he goes into prison.
Yeah, what they say?
I don't know. I'm actually going to look up the video right now and see.
I bet they said that he's not gonna run out of any footlongs anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it.
Meatball subs all day, son.
All day. Man. Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for that guy. Hopefully for him, somebody just kills him. You know what I mean? Some fat kid that he molested will come to court, shoot him.
We'll see what happens. We'll see, because he was some type of celebrity. He does have some type of money from an endorsement. I don't know. We'll see. If he pays for a good lawyer, he might not even fucking go to prison.
He could do 8 months in county.
And be in protective custody and not have to be, But who knows, man? I mean, that's the good and shitty thing about the way that our laws work. Is like, if you do have money, there's other alternative options for you to pay your debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's bad for some, but good for some, and I don't know. It's kind of like a catch-22.
And then on a lighter note, that is also not along the same lines of child molestation, but Banksy, Banksy, the graffiti artist, he opened a theme park art gallery type thing called Dismaland, and what it was is he had the whole place shut down for like a month. And there was signs everywhere saying that they were filming a movie and that it was like a movie crew. No one could go in here. This is a movie set. Kept everybody out. And he had, I think it was like 144 artists from all around the world came in and made a bunch of pieces. And it was all themed on, it was kind of like a twist on Disneyland. And it's all themed on, the media and just kind of mainstream, like fascist shit, and just some classic Banksy art. And it's going to be open for 3 weeks, and you can go and walk around in it and go and see all the attractions. And it's pretty weird. I know that at one point there's Cinderella in a carriage that has been turned over and crashed. All the horses are dead, and she's hanging out all bloody. And then there's like a bunch of flashes, and as you come around the corner, you notice that the flashes are coming from like a bunch of paparazzi cameras. There's like 30 paparazzi cameras there. And then there's also a tiny model city of a whole city after a riot, and there's just police in the streets.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty dope, actually. It's called Dismal Land.
Yeah, Dismalands.
And yeah, and it was pretty awesome. He hired I don't remember how many artists, but a bunch of artists to come do all the artwork for him. He didn't really actually do any of it. It was all other artists.
Yeah.
And this is basically like a 3D representation of what his two-dimensional art would be or whatever in any other scenario. So it's just a cool experience. Like, did you see the statue of the Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
And how it looked all fucked up? Like, it fucks with your eyes looking at it and shit. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, it's all warped out. And then there's some lady sitting on a bench getting attacked by birds.
Yeah, and it's got the refugees on the boats for the remote control boat.
Yeah.
And there's bodies floating in the water and boats full of refugees and it's crazy, man. It's all good statements, you know what I mean? It's all thought-provoking art for sure.
This is a good one too. They have a stand where you can go and it's where kids trade in toys for cash and with only a 5,000% APR on that loan. So
yeah.
and it just shows some little girl with a bunch of money and she's staring at the 5,000% APR, all sad.
Yeah.
It's it's dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
he said that now more nowadays. That's how he said it. More nowadays, his art is better when he's not involved in it. Is what he said.
Yeah.
So that's why he just housed it for a bunch of other artists that he enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I think it's
other
dope.
news-
I love Banksy.
In other news, Wiz Khalifa got arrested at the airport.
Oh yeah, I saw that for trying to ride a hoverboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "You guys could be famous. You guys could do that and be on the internet if you
Yeah.
want."
I'll make you as famous as you want to be.
Yeah.
And it took 6 of them to put him on the ground and arrest him. They basically made an ass of themselves. I swear to God, every situation cops are given on camera, they make a complete ass of themselves.
Yep.
And it's entertainment, for sure. I mean, it doesn't take 6 cops to arrest skinny ass Wiz Khalifa. Come on, man.
He's like, "I am not resisting.
Honestly,
I am not
yeah,
resisting."
He was laughing about it. You know what I mean? He's like, "I'm not resisting, sir. I'm not resisting." He's all high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just trying to ride a hoverboard and live. It's 2015, man.
Let me ride my
You
damn
saw all this
hoverboard.
shit in Back to the Future. You know what I mean? It's like Donald Trump's president. You know what I mean? We're fucking doing it. I'm just trying to live, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not resisting, sir. And fucking 6 of them, dude. It made them look like retarded ass rednecks. You know what I mean? It's like it took 6 out of shape white officers to restrain a guy that's 100 pounds. You know what I mean?
That's just way too high to fight back, even if he wanted to.
Yeah, dude. It's like, are you kidding me? And then the video is like a 1990s camcorder. Oh my God, they do that. I couldn't even find a 1990s camcorder. You know what I'm saying? It's got the battery life and the date and time on it and shit.
Yeah, and all the
It's
static
fucking
and shit.
funny.
I like to say that it was just some old man that was there filming it on his camera, and someone was like, "Hey, I'll buy that video off you for $100," and he was like, "All right."
I think it was somebody with him. They were probably filming him riding that thing. He films everything he does. You know what I mean? There's always a camera guy with him taking pictures or filming or whatever.
Yeah.
24/7. He's smart. He's one of the few that are that smart, Not like everywhere he goes, there's a camera following him. He does it on purpose. And I think that's one of the smartest thing he could do because that's why he's blown up as much as he has.
Yeah.
Fucking, he did that song for Fast and the Furious, and you
talk about FF6?
It's got almost 1 billion plays already.
Now, all right, help me with this. I was trying to do this before. Can you name all the Fast and the Furious movies from 1 to 7?
Nope.
It goes Fast and the Furious, and then it goes Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
And then it goes Faster and Furiouser, and then 4. That's just the fourth one. Is just the letter 4, and then and then Fast 5. Oh wait, no. and then Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is somewhere in the beginning, and then Fast 5, and then it's Fast and Furious 6 is just the letter 6, and then it goes FF7, and the newest one that just came out was just called Fast, right?
I don't know.
And that's the one he made the song for?
Well, whatever the newest one is, I don't know. I think it was 7 was the newest one.
Did they just call? Yeah. Wasn't there one that was just Fast and Furious again? Like, they did not Fast and Furious again, but Fast and Furious.
I don't know.
Like, if I were to list it, it would go Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, 4, Fast 5, 6, Fast and Furious, FF8, and then Fast
There's
9.
no 8. There's only 7.
All right. We're going to get to the bottom of this one day. One day, I'm going to list all of these in order. I swear to fucking God.
Anyways, Wiz Khalifa has 1 billion fucking views on YouTube, and he just made these cops famous as fuck.
Damn. That's
just
crazy.
on that one song, bro. All his other songs got 100 million plays and shit, too.
1 billion.
That motherfucker is huge on YouTube,
A
dude.
billion.
Almost, yeah. There's only a few people that have 1 billion plays, right?
That's
Justin
insane.
Bieber and Ludacris.
Taylor Swift?
They're on the same song together. I don't know if Taylor hit one yet.
Let's see.
I know Psy from the Gangnam Style song.
Yeah.
That fool, he broke the fucking YouTube counter.
He broke
at over 2 billion plays, and had to start on another one. He has the most on one song ever, on one video ever on YouTube.
Damn, that's crazy.
A lot of people might have 1 billion total through all their stuff, but the list of people with 1 billion plays on one video is extremely small.
Yeah, this Wiz Khalifa. No, that's only 1 million. Never mind, I lied. I'm trying to find one that has 1 billion.
Baby by Justin Bieber and Ludacris.
Oh, I'm trying to find one by Wiz Khalifa. That's.
Oh, it's that new one for the Fast and Furious song.
Well, I don't know which one that is because I don't know what movie it is. Is it FF8? F7? I think the highest one I'm seeing in here. How long ago did that Fast and Furious song come out? Like a while ago.
It's
that movie?
See You Again. It's See You Again, and it's at 855 million views.
Damn.
It's just short of 1 billion.
That's insane.
In 4 months. In 4 months. That's how big that shit is.
Here it is. Mine says 857 million views. So maybe maybe he just got another couple million views since we checked it. Just 2 million more views since we looked at it. That's insane, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well.
All right, look up the Gangnam Style song.
Props to him. All right. Psy Gangnam Style. That shit
2
has
billion.
2,399,000,000 views. That's insane.
Yeah.
And in the description it says watch Hangover featuring Snoop Dogg. How many views does that shit have? Only 200 million? That ain't shit.
Yeah, that ain't shit. 200 million. Except for there's only 300 million people in America.
God damn. One Pump Gangnam Style.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking elite list of people. Very small list of people. And Wiz is about to be in one. You know what I mean? And in less than 6 months, that fool got a video with 1 million fucking plays. And you know why? It's because it's a good song. And it happened during a crazy time when dude died and shit. And it just, everything fit into place in that scenario. And it was perfect timing, you could say. And it speaks for itself. You know, Wiz makes good music. I'm not hating on him. I'm a fan for sure.
Yeah, and he's definitely doing something right, because that is he's almost got 1 billion views, and he's gonna get there, and we're all gonna see it here on this podcast. Probably, I'm gonna go check it right now.
Hey, that's an idea right there. We should see Rostrum Records battle Funk Volume.
What is that, Wiz Khalifa's?
Right? Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller both came from Rostrum Records.
Fucking, I hate Mac Miller.
He's dope though.
I hate him, but I know that he was on like Larry King Live recently, and
bro, he's really good, and he's one of the top selling independent artists on the planet.
I bought Blue Slide Park and I didn't like it.
Well, yeah, I didn't like that one either, but I'm not gonna base Mac Miller's career off of one album. You know what I'm saying?
I did. That's what I did.
That one album.
I haven't listened to him since then. So.
Well, that wasn't even close to his best shit.
Maybe I should. What album would you say?
He's got a new one coming out right now.
Is it out yet?
I'm not sure. I don't know, but I know it's either out or it's about to be out.
Well, how do you know that's the best one to listen to? What if he's starting to fall off? That happens.
I don't know. It does happen.
What album between Blue Slide Park and that album would be the one that someone should start listening to Mac Miller?
Probably before those.
Before those? In the beginning? Was there more albums before Blue Slide Park?
Yeah.
Well, then why?
I'm not a Mac Miller aficionado. I don't know all the facts offhand, but I know that he is dope, and you know.
You made it sound like you were
better than Funk Volume.
Yeah, I think they could take Funk Volume, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have to
Wiz
revisit
got a huge
Mac
camp
Miller.
too, dude. Wiz could probably do it with just all his people. You know what I'm saying? Wiz got hella rappers.
So there was another thing that I wanted to talk about. Did you? Well, of course you did, because you were the one that posted it. The new satanic statue that was unveiled in Detroit.
Yeah.
And now that it's one thing that they unveiled a statue in Detroit for everyone to go and praise Satan. That's whatever. I think that all religion should have the right to do whatever the fuck they want in their own place. It's not like the statue's out on the street. It's inside the building. You know what I mean? So who the fuck cares? And they brought in, like the church brought in a statue of an angel to fight it and all this shit. But the main thing that caught my eye and ear over everything was the guy that they interviewed about Senpai and how he's coming to Earth. And you have the video, right?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, well, we'll just play the video and we'll listen to his interview, because this guy is very interesting. And I wish that you could see his face, but his voice stands alone.
Of an 8-foot-tall bronze statue of a goat-headed Satan. Most of the people here agree with the teachings of the Satanic Temple, the group responsible for the event.
It's here, it's in Detroit, and this is fantastic that we get to experience this, and we get to see this amazing statue be unveiled for all the world to see.
I'm just excited to see my Lord and Savior Baphomet represented in such glorious Italian stone. I do hope his eyes gaze upon me, and that my allegiance is recognized. I don't know. Notice me, Senpai. Notice me.
In the name of Jesus! Lord,
Notice me.
Heavy rainfall is some sort of sign, and even brought their own statue of an angel crushing the devil.
Part of me wishes that angel statue would come to life, and King Baphomet would rise, and 2 eternal juggernauts would do battle right here in the middle of the city. But for what is this battle raging, you ask? I don't know. What stands at the center? To that I say, my soul is at the center, offered up to the ageless ones, only to be torn in twain.
The unveiling here in Detroit is historic. The Satan statue has never before been seen publicly. The Satanic Temple says the statue is a symbol for what they advocate, the separation of church and state.
It's like you can't have one without the other, you know? Like I'm equal parts God and the devil. A cloak of shame covers this man, and only supreme light will wash my body clean. But how could that light possibly reach me with the thick clouds of indecency that surround my poor soul? So I carry my wrongdoings on my back like some kind of tormented hiker, lost in the hills of misfortune, looking desperately for that peak to rescue him from the valley of depraved habitual self-pleasuring. But again, I find nothing except for sweaty, devastated loneliness and 1,000 judging eyes staring back at me from the cover of a stolen Victoria's Secret catalog. I didn't take your mail, Mrs. Pemberton. Stop asking me that. Leave me alone. Satan's pretty cool.
Satan's pretty cool. Okay. First of all, notice me, senpai. Notice me. Like, first of all, I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? This guy's for real. It's one thing to be a Satanist and to believe these things. It's another thing to talk like you're like that. You know what I mean? I don't really know how to describe that way of talking. Like, it was sort of like an old school Elizabethan meth head, like, jargon that he was spitting off. And he was saying some weird terms that, like, I think may or may not have been satanic in nature. And then I started thinking about, like, his friends and, like, the people that are in, like, his church and, you know, what kind of power this guy has over people. You know what I mean? People that are, like, looking for a place that they fit in and are weird and are different, and they come here and they meet this guy and he's, like, you know, talking to you and shit. And just how many people, like, he could convince to do some crazy shit. And then Joey found another video that was all the way across the country, because this was in Detroit, and this video was released. I'm not sure when that news thing happened, but I want to.
Oh, it was recent.
So I want to say that E3 was before.
Yeah, this E3 was from 2013.
Yeah, so we have this E3 video from 2013, and then we find the same guy in this video. He is dressed differently, like he still is, kind of like, you know, like dark, and he has on a Diablo shirt, but he's like steampunk, like he has like the tie, and then he has like goggles and shit, you know what I mean? So it's a whole different style. Like, he's not satanic, and he does a kind of similar rant. Here, I got the video queued up, so we'll play it.
It's like a paradigm shift, you know? Maybe we're not in Los Angeles at all. Maybe we're in New Tristram, or maybe we're in Kalimdor. Maybe you're not a pretty girl talking to me and making me nervous with her witch doctor eyes and red raven's mane. Maybe you're a Pandaren princess, asking me to retire with her to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. And if I could only get the guts to say yes, I'd experience what it's like to be inside of a union where for once trust is given and trust is returned, where nothing can be broken, where nothing can be taken without first being given, before the nightshade comes and takes us all back to the black and filthy muck and mire where death lives and beauty doesn't stand a chance. I don't know. Watchdogs look pretty cool.
All right, so now I'm less worried for the congregation of this satanic temple, and now I think that this is just an act that this guy's doing, and it's a character trying to get famous, and
Just like the other guy. What was his name?
who? Johnny
The
Pepperton?
fucking the bum-looking guy with the powerful speech.
Oh yeah. That had the crazy deep announcer voice. Oh
Yeah,
no,
no. The inspirational guy.
Michael Silver. I know what you're talking about. The Church of Cannabis guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it turned out to be bullshit. And it's like, I don't know
So
why
maybe these guys are brothers.
I don't know why we can't just have authentic crazy people anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be crazy.
Yeah.
One of my favorite rappers, Idea, he has this line in one of his songs where he says, "I was insane before it was popular." And I think it's very true. A lot of people like to have that kind of like edge to them, to where they're like, "Oh, I'm weird and I'm a little crazy." And sometimes I'm like, "Blah," but really you're just another person and you don't have any real problems. You're not running around all like, all insane. You know, if that guy really, maybe that kid does really act like that in
Well, I
real
don't know.
life.
All the other people in the line looked pretty crazy too for that Satanist statue, and that's not the final place. Like, supposedly it's going to Arkansas to be displayed in protest next to some religious statue out in the open and shit. So
Oh, damn.
I don't know. Yeah, there's some other story that goes along with it, and it's a real thing, man. There was people out there with devil horns and shit, and they're out there with their white contacts and like all this other shit. They're definitely causing the scene and expressing their views. But you know what's funny is I look at Christians the same way as I look at them. You know what I mean? They're all weirdos to me, you know? It's like it's like if you're going to go knock on my door and try to preach at me, I think that's weird, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to fucking everybody looks kind of weird when they go to church, you know? Like they wear similar things and they all go and sing songs together and everybody knows the words and shit
And they hold their hands
you know
up.
what I mean? Yeah, I mean, there's no difference. Maybe these guys look creepy to you, but creepy to one person is completely different to someone else, you know? I mean,
Yep, absolutely.
I think a lot of shit's creepy.
Yeah, I never really thought that clowns were creepy at all until last night. I watched the new Poltergeist movie, the remake. Have you seen that?
No, but I want to.
Dude, it was the best remake I've ever seen in my life. They did a really, really good job with it. And fucking
Watch it tonight.
it was scary. At some points I was like laughing. It was like they had all these like little comical things that came up all the time. They had this reoccurring thing that was funny. And like it was cool like how they redid it cuz it was different but the same. It was dope. They schooled it. And I fucking started talking about how cool it was and then I forgot about what I was going to say about it. I just started bringing up about how fresh it was.
Sweet.
And then I lost everything.
Well, in other news, the Ashley Madison hack. You heard about that shit?
Yeah, I did. And they hacked millions of people's account information. And not only
37 million users.
And not only was it their screen names and passwords and who they met with and what kind of appointments they made and all this, it was also credit card information as well, which is the main thing that everybody's upset about because everybody has to go change their cards. All these cheating husbands are getting divorces. So right now, what we're seeing is 2016 is going to be the year of cougars and MILFs. Because all these old ladies are going to be divorced because they left their husbands and they're just going to be looking to get banged constantly. So that's what you're going to see is a rise in cougars next year. That's my prediction. So that's my weather forecast for next year.
Send nudes to Natural Habitat Podcast at... Just kidding.
So, there was something else that, I went through and I asked the people in the community what they had to say on the podcast. If anybody wanted to leave any comments, quotes, shout outs, plugs, and that we would put them on the show. And nobody really, I don't know if anybody got it. Like everyone was like, that sounds cool. And I was like, okay, well say something now. Like, what do you want to say? And then Roach Clip was like, did you see the Funk Volume and Horseshoe Gang shit? Which kind of would have gone in like the news thing that we posted the other day. So we talked about that. So thanks Roach Clip for that. And then everybody else just kind of started like posting videos and like talking about things. and then finally we got Kyle Teets Whitaker, who was the creator of our new bio for the podcast, which is the Natural Habitat Podcast is better than drugs, but even better with drugs. And he wants to go ahead and so if you know him, if any ladies out there know Kyle, all right, you might want to go and get yourself tested, is what he says. And that's from his mouth with a squinty tongue face, a punch to the mouth, and then he's going to blow some smoke up your ass and give you a little gift, which that gift hopefully can be cured with some penicillin. Because I assume if he's going to be saying that and being so open with it, that he's good. He's cleared up. You know what I mean? He got it taken care of. No big deal. And you should probably go and take care of yourself. And I think that's commendable of you, Kyle, to let everybody know that. And I don't know if you said that not knowing that I was going to say this on the podcast, but if you did, I apologize. I'm sorry. And Mike Fedora also wants everyone to know to get to the chopper, which I assume that means that his pilot's license is now been granted to him, and he has his grandpa's helicopter, and we're all going to go right around the coast. So that's what we're going to go do right now. I'm excited. I want to call him.
Yep. All right.
That's about it. We don't really have any more news. Like we said, slow news day, man.
Yeah, there was another explosion in China.
There was. Did you see any details on that?
Not really. I mean, it was just like another explosion.
Was it around the same area? Do you know?
It was like 100 miles away or some shit. I don't know. It just doesn't. It seems like not a coincidence, you know.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of conspiracy shit going around already, like they're connected and whatever. Can't read into that shit yet. That's just somebody stirring the pot. But
yeah,
there's some crazy shit going on. Their stock market is crashing right now, and that could definitely fuck up everybody's stock market. So you got to be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. I say that we kind of like look into it, do some research over the next week as shit comes out, and then we could do a conspiracy theories episode and kind of dive deeper into it and just kind of focus on that. Because this is definitely something that people should know about. It's happening on our planet, and there was 2 giant explosions within 10 days of each other. A lot of people died. A lot of shit got fucked up. And nobody really knows exactly what the explosions are coming from and why they are being caused. There's a lot of speculation. So that's something that you would want to pay attention to. You know what I mean? That's something I want to pay attention to. So I know that at both places there were 2 explosions, which is strange. That there was one initial explosion and then a secondary larger explosion. Whereas, it's... If you're trying to fuck shit up,
chemical plants or some shit.
Yeah, and if you're trying to fuck shit up, it's a lot easier to buy a little bit of explosives and use that to blow up something big instead of buying a whole bunch of explosives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm living some guerrilla militia lifestyle, I'm not going to go buy the whole truckload of explosives. I'm just going to get a backpack full and then find something that is explosive. So nobody really knows what happens, but we are going to dive into it, and then we are going to come to you with our tinfoil hats on and talk about it on a Conspiracy Theories episode soon. So if you have any information or anything like that about it, we're going to start a thread in the community page and go ahead and post any links or anything there. And, hearts and farts, like I said before.
Also, Raiders lost. Chargers won, and the Niners won. So, Cali up.
That's right. Now that Joey's here, we're gonna start doing segments on the football season, which is starting. I do not follow, nor do I watch football, so it's something that I cannot give to the listeners, but it's America's favorite pastime. A lot of fucking people watch it, and more people watch the Super Bowl than vote for president. And I think that it could definitely be something that is of value to people. But I told him that I would actively hate and be negative the whole time that he's talking. And also, I think that we're going to try to get Ty to come and join in on a couple, or try to do like a 3-way Skype thing, because our good friend Awesome Ty is a Raiders fan and follows football very actively, knows every coach and player and position and all that shit. So he goes really deep with it, and I think that would be a good segment for people.
Deep.
And Ty goes deep, all right? And I think if we just do like, a little chunk for the football people, why not? You know what I mean? Cover it throughout the season and have a little what the scores are, who did good, who did bad, who raped somebody, who got cut, and who makes the most money. So do you have any of those stats at all?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well,
because it's only preseason. I'll tell you who won and shit, but I'm only focused on the Cali teams, anyways.
Yeah.
So I just told you right now who won. Raiders lost. It was 20-12 against Minnesota. San Diego won against Arizona 22-19, and San Francisco beat Dallas 23-6. And 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So Cali up.
Not bad at all. And the Raiders won 1 game. So you guys did good, right? Was that good?
Yeah. Yeah, we won 1, we lost 1, but like I said, it's only preseason, you know what I mean? Like, no team, every one of your lines is going to be out there. You have your first and second and third strings, you know what I mean? All different types of players that you're not going to use all the time, so right now is your chance to, get everybody in the game and get everybody prepared and ready to go for the regular season and work out your new players with your old players and see, where everybody's at and you know what I mean? So right now it's just really just testing the water, but we don't look bad. Niners look really good, and they lost a lot of players last year, so they're like a brand new team. Raiders are pretty new. San Diego's, I don't know. They're always pretty consistent, so you never know. It's going to be a crazy year for sure. A lot of shit got shaken up over the offseason, so it's going to be a crazy year for all the teams, really.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We got love for California and support for all of our teams. So,
yep.
So there it is. And so we'll keep you updated with that. And also, there was one more thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes.
Yeah.
If you
iTunes.
enjoy what we do and you like the podcast and you don't have any money to donate, first go and donate, and then go and download iTunes to your computer. All right, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to iTunes.com. You click download for whatever system you have. You download it. It'll say, would you like to run this installation pack? You click yes, run. It'll run. It'll go through. It'll extract some files. You don't want to download the Google toolbar because that'll just do a bunch of spam and shit in your browser. So you want to unclick that, and then you want to click to have a desktop shortcut because you'll probably need that because it'll make it just easier to get to. So you download that, click yes. Wait 5 minutes. It'll say installation is complete. Would you like to open when you click finish? And you click the box yes. You click finish. It'll open up. And then you go into iTunes Store. It'll say, would you like to update iTunes? There's a new version of the iTunes Store. You say yes. The iTunes Store, it'll download. It'll probably take 45 minutes. That downloads. You go into the store, and then you go into the search bar, and you search Natural Habitat Podcast. Nothing will come up. And that's because you're in music. So you're going to want to go, and you're going to want to click the podcast, the little music button, and switch it over all the way down past TV and past all this stuff, books and all that, to music. No, not to music, to podcasts. Click podcasts, and then Natural Habitat Podcast will be there on your feed. Click on that. Click subscribe. Give us 5 stars, 6 stars if you can, and leave a comment that says, I don't know these guys, and I've never heard of this until today, but it's my new favorite thing. And thank you, iTunes, for providing it for me. And that will help us out a lot. So if you can do that in the order that I described, I broke it down for you. You got no questions.
And join the Facebook group.
Yeah, I wish that there was we're facebook.com/groups/5892659987439573874. I wish that we could name it, give it a URL, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a good place, and when we do have the website up, then we're going to have a forum in the website, which will be essentially what that is, and we'll move that to the forum. and then just kind of post forum posts on the Facebook page. You know what I mean? And that way people can make feeds, and we can make all these different things on there. And that'll be good.
Memes and fucking nudes and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, we'll have a file that's just called "Dicks and Celebrities' Faces" memes, and that'll probably be at the top. It'll be the most active. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Go make sure that you download iTunes and subscribe, and join the Facebook community, Natural Habitat Podcast. Look that up, and yeah, we'll see you on Thursday. Back in time.
Peace, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.